happy for you. Know that I am, even if I can't understand. Happy for you. Bonjour mon petit chauffeur, Amber here, and it's that time again, that time that we chat about books. So grab yourself a cup of tea and get comfortable. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, that was hot. I know I usually do this as a books of the month, but it's kind of a in-between months of the month. I don't know if that made sense. Yeah, middle of the month, but today I'll be talking about If I Stay and the sequel to that, Where I Went. I'm going to try to do this with as little spoilers as possible, but that being said, go into this pre-warned. If I Stay. This is the story of 17-year-old Mia Hall, who is on her way to visit friends with her family when they are involved in a car accident. Her family is killed and she's left in a coma, but somehow she's outside of her body, or her spirit is outside of her body, able to watch what's going on around her, and she's faced with the decision to follow her family and just let go, or to stay and ultimately live in this whole new world with, I guess, a hole in her life. That's basically the premise of the whole book. The whole story is told, I believe, in a span of 24 hours. It is told not only through the Mia's point of view, watching the world go by outside of her comatose body, but also it's told through her memories, which is how we see the relationships between her and her family who have died, as well as her grandparents and her friends and her boyfriend Adam, who is in a band, and you understand more about her decision, her ultimate, like how hard this decision for her is. This book is very sad, but what I like about it is that, like I said, it's told not only through Mia's point of view, but through her memories. So you understand why it's difficult, because yes, she feels like she's lost everything, but at the same time, she still has this family and people who love her. And I guess she has to decide if that's enough. I love the actual different relationships with the different people in her life. I love, much like the last book I reviewed, The Sky is Everywhere, how integral, I guess, music is to the lives of all the characters in this book. Mia is a cellist who is working towards getting into Juilliard. Adam, her boyfriend, is in a band that's on the rise. Her parents were former punk rockers. Her dad was in a punk band. So music is basically, music is everything in this book. It's actually also the basis of almost all of the relationships in the book. So that's important to me. The book, I guess, ended a little differently than I would have written it had I been the author, but I guess it makes sense since there's a sequel. Speaking of said sequel, this is the part, if you have not read If I Stay or seen the movie, or if you intend on reading said books, I would stop watching it because I'm going into the next book, which will spoil some of the ending of this book. So, Where She Went picks up 3 years later. This book is told through Adam's point of view, specifically because after Mia's recovery, she went on to Juilliard, not only leaving Oregon, but leaving Adam behind as well. He doesn't realize, but she did hear when he promised her that if she stayed, he would do whatever she wanted, even if that meant leaving her. Like I said, Mia is a prodigy at Juilliard, or actually she's graduated Juilliard. She graduated, I think, a year early, and she's now in a young musicians program. Adam's band has gained global success and is traveling the world, and so happens when this story starts, he is in New York, about to take off for a European tour or something, and Adam is a mess. He's a whole mess, so much so that his manager pushes off, changes his plane ticket so he can fly to London the next day rather than that day, which gives him time to rest, and he ends up at Mia's concert at Carnegie Hall. So that's where this starts. And when she finds out that he's there, she has the ushers bring him backstage after the show. And long story short, she convinces him to go on this last tour of New York, because this is also her last day in New York. She's going on an orchestra tour, and she's headed for Japan. And they go on this tour, and like the book says, they revisit the past and open their hearts to the future and each other, which is great for me because I was really ticked off at the end that she left him, even though I understood why. I wasn't surprised, and I understood, because she lost so much, and I feel like he would be a constant reminder of everything that she lost, and she wanted to put all of that in Oregon behind her, which I guess left him in a bad state. I personally liked where she went a tad more than If I Stay. One, it wasn't as sad, and I felt like it was easy. Like it's easier to deal with a book that's dealing with poor boy's broken heart than some, like, I feel like also there's more, it's weird to say, but a little more emotion in this book. I know it's a very emotional book, Mia dealing with the loss of her family, but in this, it's like you understand everything that Adam felt for Mia, and how he's dealt with her just cutting him off. It wasn't like even a proper breakup. She just cut him off and left. And by the end of the book, I feel like he's healed some, and they have sorted their crap out, and I'm happy again. I read half of this book in one day, finished it in like 2 days after that. Overall, I really like these books. You should totally read them. If you have read them, let me know what you thought about them. I really like the movie as well. I watched it about a day or two after I finished the first book. I love Chloe Grace Moretz. Yeah, that's about it. I enjoyed If I Stay. I'm currently reading, or If I Stay book, I'm currently reading The Girl from the Well. I figured it's October, it's Halloween time, why not read a spooky book? So that's about it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have read, like I said, If I Stay and or Where She Went, let me know what you thought down there. If you have any suggestions for books I should read, let me know. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down there, so we can be buds. And I'll see you very soon. Bye. She finds herself torn between Toby, who is her sister's boyfriend, who was her sister's boyfriend, and Joe Fontaine, the beautiful, half-French, crazy horn player, guitarist, musical genius.